Oh.
Hey. You can say words now, Riles.
Yes.
Our song didn't play today.
Slow on. No, I hate that.
I know. I don't know why it didn't want to love us today, but it didn't, and I am sad. Anyway,
Oh.
I
Anyway.
didn't even set you up all the way.
No.
I'm a mess today.
Aw. Is it your tongue?
My tongue is bad. My noggin is bad. I'm just having a little hard baby day.
Mm.
So that's a challenge. But we're fine.
Are you okay to pod, or would you rather pod on a day you're feeling better?
No, it's gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. Everything's fine.
Okay.
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 Yeah, so that's my life. I just fixed our stream setup because I didn't like the way it was looking, and we're here. It's fine.
No.
My goodness, I'm having a snack delivery. Wow, thank you. Do I get munchies too? Can I have a bowl? For real, yeah.
Why?
I love you. Get you a husband who brings you the podcasting snacks. Okay.
I'll get right on it.
Yeah, listen, I can't recommend. I should have one. They bring you snacks. Catch what? Catch. Ah! I didn't catch it. Oh my gosh. Never have we had a worse podcast intro in our whole lives. Let me tell you right now. I'm going to listen back to this
I don't
later.
know about that.
I feel like I do. And I want to state that, my microphone is 100% on right now, so it's not like we're missing this. This time we're actually hearing all of my insanity. From the jump, Riles.
That's amazing.
Okay.
I welcome it.
I'm so glad. I have two really important announcements to give to you.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, it says we're offline now. We're not offline. We're online.
Wow.
When it's just nothing. When nothing is happening. Okay, we're still live. It's fine.
Okay.
I have two really important updates for you.
Okay.
The first really important
Ready.
update is I got my wedding photos back.
Yay! That's exciting. Have you been looking through them?
I have been looking through them and getting them ready to print for my scrapbook and stuff.
Yeah.
And printing extras for family and friends and stuff. So that's really fun.
That's super fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's exciting. I love wedding photos.
I know.
They're so fun to look through.
Yesterday I cried. I was looking through them.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And they're just some of these photos of all of us girls where we're laughing and we just look so happy and just remembering how happy I was to be with you all as I prepared to get married. It was such a fun experience. So I cried yesterday looking through them.
That's so cute.
Thank you.
I'm sure I will also cry looking at all those pictures.
I'm hoping that the prints get here while you guys are here next weekend. So that I can show them to you, but.
Right? That'd be a fun girls activity to look through those. I have seen exactly 2 wedding photos, one of which I've taken of you sitting on the floor. And another of one that my mom took of me when I was walking past her, and I apparently made a face. So I hope that's not in the wedding.
No, your walking down the aisle photos are really cute.
Oh, good. I tried really hard because in other weddings that I was in, my walking down the aisle photos were not cute because I was trying really hard not to cry. So I looked really focused, which looked really weird.
Sam's photos are also really cute. Chloe's are kind of bad.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's. I can't wait to see them.
Yeah. Actually, I have two other big updates for you.
Thoughts?
Okay. Please excuse me while I take a big drink.
Okay.
Here are my thoughts. I really only thoroughly enjoyed 3 out of the 10 books. So that was really tough.
I didn't realize there were 10 of them.
Okay,
so many books.
This is the controversy, okay? So there are 5 books that are the originals, of which I really, truly only had fun with, like, one of them. The second one was, like, there was that. But then at the end of the last one, after they save Olympus and they defeat the Titans and everything is hooray, they get a new prophecy that talks about like these 7 demigods who are going to save the earth. And Percy's like, we have to figure it out. We have to start right now. Blah, 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 blah. And Chiron's like,
yeah.
Okay, hang on. Like, the last time we got a great prophecy, it took, like, 70 years for it to be anything. Like, we knew that you were coming for 70 years before the prophecy was, like, enacted. Like, you probably won't even be alive. Well, this prophecy absolutely had something to do with Percy and Annabeth. And so, like, there's 5 more books afterwards that are double or triple in length. Like, the Roman books are flippin' huge, but it, like, directly continues Percy's story. So I think it's just kind of hard-pressed to say that, like, there are only 5. It's kind of 10, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I read all 10.
Are you excited for the new... There's, like, a show coming out.
There's a show coming out.
Are you going to watch it?
I'm going to watch it. I think it'll be fun. I think my middle schoolers will watch it, and so it'll be fun to get to, like, connect with them on that. But, like, most, kind of, like, memorably, I don't know how they're going to translate these books to screen, because so much of it is, like, these kids, like, coming to an understanding of, like, who they are in themselves, coming to an understanding of, like, where they fit in the world, and coming to an understanding of just, like, what it means to be brave. And it's just, like, a lot. I mean, it's a book, you know, so everything's told through someone's perspective, but I think probably, like, 70% of all these books isn't, like, a narration of their actions, but, like, their innermost thoughts that they don't share until kind of the end of the book. So just, like, I don't know how they're gonna do this well, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see, though.
That'll be interesting. I'll probably watch it. I've never read the books, but...
Don't read the books.
I mean, like...
I don't think you'll have fun.
I don't think I will either, which is why I never did. But I might watch the show. I watched one of the movies back when they were movies, and
because Logan
I
Lerman
didn't have
was
a
in
bad
them.
time. I didn't have a bad time, but, like, I don't know. We know how I get when I like a thing. I didn't get that way with Percy Jackson.
Here's my theory on Percy Jackson. Like, by the time I was aware of its whole vibe, I was probably, like, 17 or 18. And so much of the first 5 books is Percy being like, I hate adults. I know everything. You can't tell me what to do. Blah, 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 blah. And I just, like, I don't have a lot of patience for that in my current adult life. You know what I mean? And so, like, I read the first book, I think when I was, like, a senior in high school. And it was just so much of, like, everyone hates me and adults are bad and you don't understand me. And I was like, I can't do this. You know what I mean? Like, I can't
anymore. Yeah.
I can't sign on for this for 10 books. I can't do it. So then I didn't read more of them, and then I promised a 6th grader I would do it. And that kind of like whininess subsides after book 4. But you have to get through 4 books.
Yeah. I can't.
I can't either.
I couldn't do
like,
it.
I don't think you'll have fun.
No. I agree. I'll watch the show, maybe. But I'm not gonna devote the time to also read the books. When I already have so many other books that I should be reading.
That and so much TV homework that I've given you.
I know. I have so much TV homework, and yet I continue to rewatch the same show. I am rewatching Gilmore Girls right now.
Oh my goodness, I started watching season 1 the other day.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm only on like season 3 or 4. I think I'm on season 3, episode 13.
But have you watched all of it?
Was the last time. Yes, I finally finished it. I started it in college and then didn't watch it for like 2 years. And then when I started working at my current job, I finally, like, I started really late in the day. So I was like, I'll just watch like an episode of Gilmore Girls before work every day. And I watched the whole thing. So I haven't watched A Year in the Life, the like new 4-episode special, because my mom and I were gonna watch that together. We kind of watched Gilmore Girls together a little bit too. I think we finished it together, but we wanted to watch that like 4-episode special. So I haven't seen that, but I know what happens, and I'm loving rewatching the original. I love that show.
Season 1
It's so good.
is my favorite season. A fact I forgot about.
Yeah.
But all my favorite Gilmore Girls quotes are in season 1. Like, when Rory starts Chilton and she's at Luke's and she throws a pencil and he brings her a piece of pie and she's like, why'd you bring me pie? And he's like, you look like you had a hankering for pie. And she's like, how'd you know? And he's like, you threw a pencil. And she goes, what if I'd thrown a pen? And he goes, I would have brought you a trout. And she's like, what? And he goes, I don't make the rules. I just carry them out. And then he walks away. Like, how unhinged of him.
Their interactions with Luke is my favorite part of that whole show.
I know.
Like, anything that happens at Luke's is my favorite part of the whole show. I also enjoy Friday night dinners, particularly the one where I saw a clip of it today. Rory is arguing with Emily about moving out of the boathouse or of the pool house. Mm-hmm. And Emily's like, well, we spent all this money like renovating the pool house for you. And Rory's like, I didn't ask you to do that. And Emily was like, well, you didn't stop us either. And then it switches to a new argument immediately, where Lorelai is talking to Emily and Richard and is like, you don't remember that we had a conversation about stopping Rory from like dropping out of Yale? I came over here and we had this conversation, and then she like reenacts the whole conversation. Mm-hmm. And then it switches to like Emily telling a story about something that happened at the DAR, and they're all like dying laughing about it. And it's like the most unhinged argument dinner night of all because it goes from like argument to like they're all BFFs and laughing and like having a great time to like them all arguing again, to them like laughing at something Emily said. And it's just like one of my favorite scenes in the whole show.
Oh my goodness. In stark contrast, the last episode of Gilmore Girls I watched this weekend so far is the episode where Rory and Dean go to their first dance at Chilton, and like Emily comes over to take care of Lorelai, and there's this like beautiful perfect sweet moment. You really think we're turning a corner. We really think like everything's gonna be okay. Like we really think good things are about to happen. And like Emily tucks Lorelai in and she says, I love you, mommy. And then Emily stays up all night in Lorelai's chair, like watching her, and it's so sweet and it's so beautiful. And then Rory doesn't come home.
Oh my god.
And then Emily and Lorelai have this like huge fight, and they're all at each other's throats again. And then like Rory's so upset, and like I looked at my husband and I was like, I can't. We have to go do something else. I can't watch this show right now.
That's the worst. They like, something like the storm is gonna hit anytime there's like a sweet moment like that
Yeah.
with Emily and one of the girls. That part made me cry though.
I know.
I was like, when she tucks Lorelai in and Lorelai like says in her sleep like, "I love you, mommy." I was like, all right, I'm done. That's enough. That's enough Gilmore Girls for the night. And then I watched the rest of the episode.
And then you're
Which
like,
is
I can't
just-
do it.
Like, wow. This show, man.
I know.
But I was like, it's such a fall vibe that like as soon as fall started to hit, I thought to myself, it's time for a rewatch. It's been a couple years. I'll do the rewatch. And there's so much I forgot since I only watched it the one time. And I think I had gotten through season 1 in college. So like I didn't remember any of season 1, like hardly at all.
Mm-hmm.
But rewatching it now it's very interesting. Like now that I've watched it and having this like perspective than like when I first watched it. But
Yeah.
I love everything that happens at Luke's. It is my favorite thing.
So funny. Have you watched any more Scooby-Doo?
Not recently.
Boo.
I think I got through the first season. I might be season and a half in, but I'd have to check.
So you
It's
haven't
still
even
on my
gotten to
list.
the insanity yet.
No.
My
I'm
husband
working
just
on
finished it. It's truly unhinged. When you're done with that unhinged show, you should watch New DuckTales on Disney Plus.
Ooh, I didn't realize there was a new one.
So they remade DuckTales a couple years ago. And the first 2 seasons were so fun, so good. I found out there was a 3rd season like 2 weeks ago. And I worked my way through it. I just watched the last 3 episodes yesterday. And I cried so hard.
Mm-hmm.
DuckTales has no
Really?
business making me cry this hard.
I love shows like that.
First of all, there was a callback to Chippendale
That's
Rescue
awesome.
Rangers, which was super fun. There was a callback to the Goof Troop, which was super fun. Multiple callbacks to Darkwing Duck. Just a really fun time. It's a really fun time. And it made me cry a lot.
That's awesome.
I got to watch Donald meet Daisy, which was super cute.
Oh, that's really sweet. I love the idea of that.
You find out what happens in the mystery of Huey, Dewey, and Louie's mom. And where she went and why they live with Donald. So that was really fun.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's a really fun show. Everyone should watch it. It's really great.
Okay, I might have to check that out. It sounds really fun.
Only after you finish
You
the
sold me.
insanity that's
I'm gonna check
Scooby-Doo,
it
though.
out. Okay. All right. One unhinged show at a time. I'll start with Scooby-Doo.
Perfect.
Finish what I started and then move on.
My third and final update for you is that the big shelf is going up in the living room tomorrow,
Yeah?
which means that by the time you get to my house, with like a couple of exceptions, the whole house should be fully decorated.
That's so exciting. I'm so excited to see all of the like pictures that you've hung and art that you've hung and the big shelf. That's awesome. That's gotta feel really good.
It
knowing
does.
that that's all.
It feels really great, and we
Pretty
got a
much
lot
done.
of stuff like on Labor Day sale. So like I went shopping with Sam on Labor Day
Yeah.
for a fireplace piece in her apartment. And we like kind of found what we want online, but wanted to check around and see if we found anything better, because what we found and liked, it was just, I don't know, like I think it's going to be too small for the space. And so we went and we walked around and saw all these sales, and I went home and Ryan and I were talking about how we needed like 3, but reasonably we need 4 picture frames. There's like a piece of art that we want to order to finish off kind of the dining room area, but we'll ask for it for Christmas. And
Yeah.
we're just like looking at picture frames, and we find like a pack of picture frames that are normally like $50. We got them for $21 on Labor Day sale. I was like, wow.
Wow.
And they were like, well, spend another $30 or $40 and, you know, you get free shipping. And we were like, well, we need like a big mirror for over the shelf. And like, those are usually around $50-$60. Well, we got this $80 mirror for $33 on Labor Day sale. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
Like, at this point, like, let's just order these items. We got really great deals. Like, I don't even mind paying for shipping because, like, we got everything we needed in one order for, like, 70-80% off. So it's really great.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say that's really great.
Yeah. So that was super
I can't
lucky
wait
and
to
super
see it all.
nice. But, yeah. So it should all be done.
That's awesome.
I haven't told Sam at all. I've sent her no pictures because I want her to, like, blind react. I made this pillow behind me that I just realized you can't see because you can't. You're not looking at the YouTube video.
I can't see your Fauci.
When you get around to making highlights for this one, you'll see the pillow and be like, oh,
I'll see
I
it.
made that. Yeah. Those are my 3 updates for you. What updates do you have for me?
Oh gosh. I mean, not a ton. I brought that bench home.
My goodness,
I didn't bring it home, but my dad brought it over this morning. Which is why it took me so long to respond to you because he was here.
All good.
But we put that under my window in the bedroom, and it's so comfy to sit on. So it'll be really nice to have for additional seating, just like when I have people here. It's super light, so I can pick it up. And
That's
carry
great.
it around. So it'll be really easy to like move into the living room and like allow people to sit on, and it opens up. It's storage. So I'm gonna move all of my blankets in there and have that be like the blanket shelf, which will clear up a shelf in my bedroom closet.
I love
for
that.
the stuff under my bed. So I'm super stoked about that. I had to get it. I like pointed at it when my mom and I were at Marshall's, and she was like, oh, I love that. You have to have it. I was like, okay. Bend my arm.
Yeah, she's totally right. It's so cute.
Right. So that's my big update. There's not much. I bought another Taylor Swift record the other day.
Hilarious.
I bought Lover. I've been looking for it for weeks, and it hasn't been at my parents' Target, which has a massive record collection area.
Interesting.
So I just figured it wasn't going to be anywhere, but I was taking a lap around my Target, and I saw it sitting on the shelf, and I like basically ran to it and bought it. So I have another record added to my collection over there. Yeah, there's not much else.
Okay.
I don't have a ton of updates. Just been like working. I haven't sung in a while, but that might change because my uncle comes back from his trip next month.
Amazing.
I guess my biggest update is that I get to come and see you next weekend in person.
Your nephews are so excited.
I'm so excited.
Tigger and I had a long
it's
conversation.
Like all I've been thinking about. Really?
Tiggy and I talked about it as I was cleaning the cat tower. You know, you gotta like rake it out, get all that like old icky fur out. And so
yeah,
Tigger and I talked. I said, your auntie's coming. And he kind of like perked up his little baby ears. And I said, and you can sniff her shoes. And she's going to give you kisses and scritches. Her and I already talked about it. And he was perking up. And Tiny Mai is actually in the studio today. Oh, little Tiggers is coming in right now because he hears you. Tiggers! You want to see your auntie?
Hey, Tiggy!
And Cry's in here too. He's been laying on the cat bed for the whole podcast so far. Both boys are very excited for their auntie. They are ready for
I'm very excited
an
to
auntie.
see them.
Yes. They both got...
Their auntie is ready to give them all the scritches.
Oh my goodness. They both got brushed today in preparation for auntie. Oh. Very pretty boys.
How handsome.
Yes, it's
very handsome.
Both got a nail clipping, which is a regularly scheduled event. But they behaved very well, which was great.
Good.
Yes.
I have a photo of the last time when I was over, when we snipped Krylo's nails, and it was a 4-person project.
Oh my goodness. Well, okay, so the key to getting Krylo's nails is his daddy. Like, if you don't have Ryan, no nails will be clipped. Not a single one. Granted, it's still a little bit of an event.
With Ryan.
Yeah. Ryan can do Milo's nails single-handed. Like, he doesn't always need me to help. Which I think is unreasonable.
The obsession with Ryan is the funniest thing ever.
He mowed the lawn yesterday, and both boys cried at the door. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I can't do this. Like, Jared, please. So
the obsession with Ryan. I'm sure Ryan loves it.
Ryan is becoming more attached to the cats, which is huge, you know?
Really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Milo decided to have an antisocial day yesterday. He, like, slept inside the Easter Bunny cat bed downstairs. I, like, went to check on him. Like, I thought he was sick. Ryan called him. He didn't come. It was very bizarre. Ryan was like, I missed my snuggles. What the heck?
Oh. That's weird that he didn't come when Ryan called.
I know. I was so concerned. I was like, we have to take him to the vet. There's something wrong. And then he's been his normal self today, so whatever.
Oh, good. Good.
He's just sleeping in the cat bed with his lizard toy.
What a goon.
Yeah, he's truly unhinged.
I love that boy so much.
Bizarre. I don't know how anyone like looks at Krylo and doesn't immediately fall in love with his little permanently tear-stroked face.
Right. He's like a little cheetah.
I tell him he's my precious, precious lion. I have a lion and a tigre.
Oh, such good boys.
He's the bestest boys. Anyway, we're not here to talk about my good boys. We're here to talk about.
But it's always welcomed. I always love talking about the good boys.
Our next podcast topic is just going to be Riley tells stories about Callie's cats.
What if our next podcast topic was just pet stories?
We did do that, but it got deleted. So
did we?
We did, but it's not posted. So when you were like, let's do our like top whatever Nancy Drew games, I was like, I know we already recorded that. I know we recorded top 5 Nancy Drew games because we had a little bit of an argument about it. But
we did.
It never got posted.
I think what we did was we narrowed them down together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that we did like our individual top 5 or top 2. Like, you know, today we're doing top 2 and top least, like bottom 2, our least favorite games. But I don't know that we've done that.
Well,
like our own personal opinions.
We haven't, but that one never got posted. So, like, I went to check because I was like, we can't do the same podcast twice. It was one of those, like, 10 or 11 podcasts that we recorded that never were posted.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, it doesn't matter. But we've also done pet stories before. Like, we all sat around the table and did pet stories. And it was also one that never got posted.
Yeah. Perfect. We can do it again. You know, I have an endless supply of dog story.
I love the idea that, like, you're gonna sit next to me next weekend holding my cats while telling pet stories.
Oh,
My goodness. Okay.
I love it.
We need to get started because we need to have a conversation.
Yes.
Here. Okay. Hello, welcome to
Yes.
Not For You. If you're not Riley or I from the future, get out. I don't know how you made it this far. This podcast isn't for you. This is where Riley and I record our silliest thoughts and memories to preserve forever. Most importantly, my thoughts and opinions about Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. But today we're taking a pause from my bizarre love association with Scooby-Doo Mysteries Incorporated to talk about the best Nancy Drew game, in our opinion, and objectively the least best Nancy Drew games, in our opinion. And that whirring sound in the background is, in fact, my husband installing a giant 8-foot shelf. Hooray.
Oh, the whirring sound in the background of me is my air conditioner.
I can't
Because it
hear
is
your air
loud
conditioner,
AF.
but I can hear Ryan's drill
Good.
bit as he drills into the wall next to me.
Oh,
Like-
I can't hear that.
Like, this wall over here is the wall he's drilling into right
Yeah.
now.
Well, I can't hear it, so we might be good.
Perfect.
Perfect. Wait, so are we doing our top best and our top worst, or top two best and bottom
I'll
two
give you
worst? I got a list.
I'll give you two. I'll give you as
Got a
much as
whole
3
list.
or as minimal as 1 on either side. Like, I'll give you some wiggle
Oh, okay,
room.
perfect.
Yeah. Cuz my
Awesome. Because I wrote 2 best and 2 worst, and I have 3 in each category.
Okay, so I know what my top 2 games are. If I have to pick a third one, it's going to be a process. But my bottom games, I have like 4 games I probably will never play again.
Yeah. I had a hard time with the bottom ones because there are games that I like. I like the actual game, but I hate one puzzle in that game
Fox and Geese.
that makes me hate playing the game.
Fox and Geese.
See, that's a perfect example because I love White Wolf. I think White Wolf is a great game, and that might be even nostalgia talking. That was the first one I ever owned. But I think I've only finished the game twice. Once initially at 10 years old, and twice with you. Like, that was the second time. Every other time I played that game, I've quit once we've gotten to Fox and Geese.
I don't think Fox and Geese is a good puzzle, and I don't have a fun time with that last puzzle when you have to, like, guide a dog through a mine. Like, once you get to Fox and Geese,
yeah, exactly.
I don't think the game's fun anymore. Like, everything that happens beyond Fox and Geese is no longer fun for me.
Yeah. And that's why I rage quit as soon as we get to the Fox and Geese part.
Okay, do we want to start with our least favorite
played that game
games?
6 times. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
I have more on my list just in case we had duplicates. So I don't necessarily need to,
Respect.
do every one on my list, but I had some,
Perfect.
we have had conversations about our favorite games and our least favorite games, and I know that we might overlap a little bit. So I had just, some extras on deck.
Perfect. All right, you go first.
Okay. This might be a controversial opinion. But the first game that came to my mind when we were talking about our least favorite games was Carousel. Because I think that game is boring. Like, you know that I have a bias towards ghost games. I like spooky. And I also like a lot of suspense. And I just don't get that from Carousel. The most suspenseful thing, in my opinion, is the security guard controversy. But all in all, I the game feels just like talking to a lot of people. But doing little tasks here and there, but there's nothing that has me on the edge of my seat at all during that game. Also, the puzzle where you are like playing the arcade game where you have to like bust all the little things off of the ship. The little, you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
With the ball.
That's not even the worst puzzle.
Completely put me over the edge. I know, but I like that game, that little mini game put me completely over the edge the first time I played Carousel, where I like it took me so long to beat it simply because it's a game of like, I mean, it's not really a game of chance, but like I was just bad at it. Maybe that was the problem. But it's like so ingrained in my brain, like that I hate that mini game that it just makes playing Carousel a dreadful experience because I dread playing that. Also, the character Joy drives me nuts. Oh my god, Joy! Talk about joyless. You walk into this room and she is like, her name is Joy, and she's like the receptionist or like something, and she is like the most irritating person to talk to because her first of all, her voice is monotone, but also like weirdly high pitched at the same time. Like she talks like this the whole game, but she also has the most monotone voice, and she doesn't want to talk about anything, and she chews all her pencils.
Okay, I'm just gonna say, like, I'm gonna say a couple of words to you, and I just want to get your blind reaction here.
Okay. I'm ready.
Getting run over by a roller coaster cart.
Stupid. Nancy gets her foot freaking caught in the rails of a roller coaster. She's just freaking standing there. And she's like, that's not good. When the roller coaster starts, because she knows it's going to run over her foot, take your foot out. Why do we have to? No, okay, wait. But also, the controls to the roller coaster are like clear across the room. And that's what you have to do to turn off the roller coaster.
And it's a random number generator and it's different every time?
How does she get across the room? Yes!
I hate that puzzle.
How does she get there? Like she's like pressed against the wall with her foot stuck in the thing on the rails of the roller coaster. And the control panel is quite literally 100 feet away from her. And somehow she like stretches all the way over there and like can do it. I don't know. I can't stand that game. I have very strong opinions. I'll play it, and like when I play it, it's fine. But then I like reflect on it after, and I'm like, wow, what is that? Also, okay, this is my last bullet point in my TED Talk. There's a lot of like really weird. It's like copyright things that they throw into this game. Like the artist guy is working with tools. He's working with like a brand of colored pencils that is color, but they changed the name to like Pop Color or something dumb. But it's the same freaking logo and it's like the same colored pencils. The one lady like gets like a watch or something, and it's supposed to be like a Rolex.
The Timex.
And there's just like a lot of yeah, exactly. There's like weird. I don't know of any other Nancy Drew game that does that, where they like throw in a bunch of like they try to throw in name brand stuff, but they like change the name so they don't get copyright striked. But how do you not get copyright striked when it's quite literally the same logo and the same brand? Like, we know what brand it is. Timex? Come on. It's just silly.
Okay, the only reason Carousel...
Those are my thoughts on Carousel.
...isn't on my, like, final 4 bad games I never want to play again list is because while I agree it's boring and, like, it's a lot of talking and not a lot of puzzles... It's at least, like, the mechanics work, and it's short. Like, sure.
Yes. Thank
Do
God.
I enjoy the characters? No. Do I have a fun time waltzing around this flippin' amusement park for seemingly no reason, talking to all these people instead of solving puzzles? Like, no, I don't. But I can beat that game in 2 hours, and at least the mechanics work.
Yes, I agree.
On that note,
it's short. It's kind of easy.
mm-hmm.
And the mechanics are really nice. You can like, I can Aries fast play through the whole game and be totally fine.
To no one's surprise, on my list is Stay Tuned for Danger, the second Nancy Drew game of all time. It never got remastered. The mechanics are infuriating. All of the people in it are annoying and unhelpful. The puzzles are like few and far between. Everything is specifically timed. Like, it didn't help that the first time I ever played this game was at like 2 a.m. in your basement. And I was like, over it, and I wanted to go to sleep. But I was the one who's like, no, we have to finish it. Like, so that doesn't help my impression of the game, but, like, even when I played the game following Game Boomers to a T, it was still, like, a horrible and frustrating experience. Like, even with all of the support I could possibly have to get through this game without wanting to scream and throw something, like, this was still a, like, almost undoable experience. And I just... If I never have to play that game again, it'll be too soon. That being said, the book for that game was awesome, and everyone should read it. But, like, game itself is just horrible, and you really have to convince me that, like, a game in which the ending is someone's about to strangle you is worth playing. Like, that is so scary and so creepy, and I don't ever want to see Dwayne Powers ever again.
I know, but you will.
Oh,
because he's in another game.
In fairness, I just want to say I have never played Ransom of the Seven Ships, so if that's actually the worst game to ever be made ever, sorry about it. I just don't know yet.
Ransom of the Seven Ships is really bad. I didn't even think about that one because I don't think about Ransom of the Seven Ships. Yeah. It was discontinued from Her Interactive website, so I didn't include it in the list. But that game is canonically one of the worst.
I've never played it. I hear a lot of sketchy things about it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if
there
it's
were
bad
choices
or not.
made.
It's the only game I haven't played yet.
Yeah. We'll get to it. We're getting close to that game, I'm pretty sure, in our playthrough.
Unless we start over.
Oh, that's right. We did discuss that. All
right, we'll discuss that at the end.
You will be playing that game.
You tell me your next one. I'd love to hear you freak out again. That was hilarious. Milo left because you were so intense.
I just have to add to yours a little bit.
Go for it.
Guys, Stay Tuned for Danger was so bad that Callie and I almost had a fight.
And we don't fight.
Real fight.
Yeah.
We don't fight. But at like 2 a.m. at a sleepover, we almost shared words with each other over this game. Thank God for Game Boomers, because if that didn't exist, there would have been a showdown.
I don't even remember why we almost had a fight, but I know it had something to do.
I think we were just exhausted.
But, like, I don't remember what point in the game. I just know it had something to do with the, like, stupid supply room. Like,
yeah, that's what it was. And neither one of us could agree on, like, what was the next move. And then I don't know which one of us was, like, Game Boomers.
Okay, and first of all, the Game Boomers, like, isn't even really like a Game Boomers for that game. Like, it's like there are Game Boomers that tell you like exactly what to do. It's not like that, which was super disheartening to find out at 2 a.m. Second of all, here's what I remember. Neither of us were right about what we should have done next because we skipped a step. So it like physically didn't matter what we did next. Nothing was gonna happen until we fixed the skip a step.
Right. I cannot even. It's so funny.
Just the worst experience of all time.
Anyway, it was so bad. I don't ever want to play that game again.
No.
Ever. I'm with you on that. I'm on board. Never play Stay Tuned for Danger again. That being said, my next least favorite game, I had a hard time with this one. I like had the list of Nancy Drew games pulled up, and there were like 5 of them that stuck out to me as my least favorite.
I've got 4, so I get it.
Yeah. I want to say my other least favorite game. I know for sure this one of them that I was thinking of is on your list. I thought about doing Blackboard Manor, but I like that game because it's creepy. And I like the creepy aspects of it.
And if you said Blackboard Manor, we'd have a fight right now.
Yeah, see, I don't like that game because I'm not good at it.
I am.
But playing it with you is fun because you are good at it. Like, you can get through the puzzles, and I like the creepy stuff. I think the cult stuff that goes down in that game is really funny. And also it takes place in like a really creepy castle. But I don't think that's on my like least favorite list because I actually like that game and have played it like by myself willingly multiple times. But one that I would consider to be my least favorite game, I had Final Scene on my list, but again, like I kind of like it because of like I like the setting more than Stay Tuned, and also I like the end puzzle a little bit better. I really don't like Kapu Cave. I think Kapu Cave is also boring. I think it had the potential to be really cool. Like it takes place in Hawaii. You're staying at a resort. There is like supposedly a creature sabotaging a research facility, and other researchers in the area. That's how the game starts, is somebody trashing like a scientist's camp. And it had this really awesome potential to dive into like Hawaiian culture and history. At some point you go into caves. It was like, I think it was a volcano actually. And you have to like leave before the volcano gets you. But it's boring. Like half the game you spend looking for seashells, and that's not fun. And yes, the boys are there, and that's a good time.
You've also forgotten about the insect poop. But
they're not really there. Like,
yeah.
What?
You've also forgotten about the insect poop.
Wait, which part? Yes! You have to gather around and, like, get insect poop and analyze insect poop. And you are dealing with a scientist who is, like, kind of funny. But, like, also kind of annoying to deal with. Nancy isn't even, like, at the resort investigating the main guy half the time. She's stranded in the woods collecting insect poop. It's just so boring. And it was like they ran out of ideas and came up with these, like, they were like, you know what? Nancy is a woman in STEM. And they came up with all of these, like, science experiments that Nancy could do with plants and bugs. But none of them are interesting.
And the fertilizer puzzle and the, like...
Right? Like, you don't even learn about plants. It's a game of chance to get the pea pods.
The pineapple maze was wholly unnecessary.
Right? It's so stupid. The whole game is so stupid. And I was so excited about it because I remember I got it right, like, when I was 10. I got it right after I got White Wolf. That was, like, my second game that I owned. And I was so psyched about it because I was like, this is going to be really cool. Like, I want to know what the creature is. There isn't a creature!
Yeah, it's just a dude.
Like, the only time the creature, like, shows up is when it trashes the camp right at the beginning. And then we don't hear about the creature again. Ever.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't... Why is it called the Creature of Kapu Cave? I don't understand. It's just... It's one of the my least favorite games. And playing it again, I recently solidified that. I didn't have fun with it back in the day. I didn't have fun with it except for like it's more fun to do it with somebody, but like playing it alone, I would not have any fun at all. I know this. That's my bottom two.
I feel about Kapu Cave the same way I feel about Carousel. Is it fun? No. Is it hard? No.
No.
Do I like any of the characters? No. But is it at least playable? Yeah. Like, the mechanics work.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to, like, score on all these puzzles pretty quick. Like, is it my favorite? Am I challenged? Am I having fun? Not really. Would I play it again?
No.
Sure. If I have 2 hours and I don't want to think too much, sure. Here's a game I'll never play again, though. Treasure
I'm ready.
in a Royal Freaking Tower.
I just played that.
Hate that game. I hate everything about it. The mechanics are garbage. Nothing. You can't. Listen, here's the thing. Listen. You can't get
Callie's
anywhere.
Carousel.
You can't get anywhere. Ow! You have to move your mouse a minuscule amount if you want to move every time. You can't just click twice, okay? And, like, there's no quick path to anywhere. Like, after you've earned your way into something, you have to earn your way into it every single time after that. There's no, like, hey, you've already proven yourself, like, you're good to go. Like, no, you have to do the same monotonous randomized puzzles every single time when you want to get into the library and the other library and the tower and the basement. And it's just so frustrating.
Yeah.
Also, Professor Hotchkiss just sucks so hard that I don't want to put up with her ever again.
I know.
Sorry.
I know. She wasn't even I mean, in the book, she was fine.
In the book, she was a dude who spoke French.
I know. The book wasn't even good. That's how bad the game is that the book wasn't good.
Facts! Way to bring that up again. The book was also bad. There's, like, nothing redeemable about this experience. Book, bad. Game, bad. It's not like Stay Tuned for Danger, where, like, the book was super fun, but the game was a hot, flaming fireball of trash, okay? This whole thing is just a dumpster fire in a dumpster fire in a volcano on the sun. It's so bad. If I ever have to play this game again, I am going to rage quit being a part of this whole situation. I hate this game.
Baby, I love that we're talking about, like, all the games we hate. Like, we're never gonna play these games again. When you and I discussed starting from the beginning, you realize that if we have to start these games over from the beginning, we have to play Stay Tuned for Danger again, and also Royal Tower. You have to listen to Hotchkiss again at 3:30 in the morning.
Okay, all right, listen, here's the thing.
Her office hours are from 3 to 6. How whack. She's cracked. That's the only way I can
Homegirl
describe
needs
it.
to be in an institution, for sure. I don't know why we're allowing her to just waltz about. Like, she needs medical attention.
50 drumsticks.
Oh. Or quas, as 10-year-old self would call it.
Quas. What the hell is a quas?
I love the idea that when you were 10, you thought couscous and a kumquat were, like, the same thing.
I had no idea what a quas was at 10 years old. I, like, looked at the screen and tried to read that and was like, what the hell is a quas? How do I ask for quas? What is it? And until, like, I'll be completely honest, until very recently did I discover what couscous actually was.
I love the idea that
I had no context for that for like 12 years.
Truly. In lieu of couscous, she wants, not that she likes meat, 50 chicken wings.
Right.
What?
When you go into her room later in the game and you go to, like, her typewriter,
disgusting.
There's a plate with 50 bones on it.
Listen, you didn't need to tell me. I already knew. Okay, here's
I
the
just
thing.
felt like that needed to be mentioned.
I don't think so. Okay, I just want to say this. strongly if, we restart and have to play these stupid games over again, I think the value of playing those stupid games over again is that it's really going to capture the chaos of when we don't like something. I don't know if you know this about us.
I know.
Our general chaos level is pretty spectacularly high. But when we don't like something, we're truly a rare being. And it's honestly hilarious to behold.
I enter my final form when I don't like something.
Yeah. And so I just feel like the act of replaying these truly horrible games would yield a lot of comedy for future us.
It would. Absolutely.
Even if I'm
Definitely
also
something to consider.
like putting aside the reality that I might have to view Dwayne Powers.
For sure.
Anyway, are there
Definitely something to consider.
were there other bad games you wanted to give like an honorable mention to?
Honorable mention, yeah, Final Scene is bad, in my opinion. It's boring. But I don't hate that game. Like, I'm not dreading playing that one again, although the mechanics are bad. Another honorable mention, in my opinion, is Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake is bad because of the woods, walking around in the woods to take pictures of birds and to find the cemetery. That's another one where, like, once you find the cemetery and, like, the other places that you're supposed to go, even though you've earned that, you still have to go through the cemetery or the woods maze again to get there, back and forth every time.
Stupid.
And I remember liking that game as a kid and then playing it again as an adult and being gravely disappointed in it. Which is what makes it a bad game for me.
My honorable mentions. Do you have more?
No.
My honorable mentions.
I mean, yes, but I know that you have some, and we'll double cross.
I mean, need I even say it?
Overlap.
Midnight in Salem.
It's a huge disappointment.
Everything about it is garbage. Except for that Frank is there. Because we love.
Both boys are there.
Well, your husband is, just a chaos tornado.
Yeah, he sets the kitchen on fire.
Oh my gosh. A match made in heaven.
I know.
My other honorable mention, and I don't have really strong feelings about it, but it's Trail of the Twister. I've played it one time.
That was the other one.
Have I ever in my life thought about going back to play it again? No. Do I remember being super upset about the experience of playing it? No. But if I have never once in my life thought I should really go back and revisit that game, there's got to be a reason. Yeah. Do I remember what it is?
I tried to play that one again and I was like, this is so boring. There's nothing happens in that game. I say that about a couple of the games, nothing happens. Quite literally nothing happens in Trail of the Twister.
Yeah, I remember a puzzle about, tornado sirens, and I remember something about mice, and, the guy you think did it absolutely did it, and there's a lot of weird driving in that game, but,
Yep.
I don't remember having an overly negative time playing it. I just, I don't think I want to play it again. And I think that's probably a sign it's pretty terrible.
Yeah. That was going to be another honorable mention of mine. It's boring.
Yeah.
The most excitement is you play whack-a-mole in the cornfield.
Oh, I didn't even remember we did that.
Because there's moles in the yard.
I remember there being something about moon cheese, but that might just be a snack in the store.
That's a snack in the store.
Good. Love it.
It's a grand old time.
Yeah. I also, Riley, here's my other conspiracy theory that I just remembered now. The people in the Trail of the Twister store are related to Fatima. That's it.
Yes.
Whole theory.
I was just thinking that whole store gives off Blue Moon Canyon, like,
Fatima
taffy
vibes.
store vibes.
Yeah.
That whole, yes. The Ma and Pa shop.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I am on board with that conspiracy theory 100%. But we'll dive into that when we get to our second episode of conspiracy theories. I gotta think of a couple myself.
I know. Well, I gotta
But I
think
like
of,
that
okay,
one.
I gotta do my research on my Hotchkiss Parcel treachery. That whole conspiracy theory is one sentence.
Yes.
So, like, I don't have a lot to do there. I need to come up with anything with more heft than that. But you know, I'm the tinfoil hat's been in use. Okay, we're percolating.
Awesome. Maybe we need to have a, like, whiteboard connecting all of the lines with red string nights again.
Oh, that is actually, you know what? I've been
When the
racking my
podcast was
brain
born.
for what we should do next weekend, and I think that's got to be on it. That's got to be the list right there. All right, Riley. Tell
Awesome.
me about the
right.
goods.
So we switch gears to the good things. And on my list, the first game that came to my brain when I thought favorite game, this is not going to come to us as a surprise to you, is the Ghost of Thornton Hall.
Shock. Awe. Gasp.
Shock. Oh, gasp. We know, as we can see by my sweatshirt, that I love ghosts. I love ghosts. I love haunted things.
Spoopy season.
And it's spoopy season. This is a sweatshirt from Ryan and Shane's shop, by the way. It says Too Many Spirits at the bottom. But this is a Spooky Boys sweatshirt.
Oh my goodness. I don't know
love
that you paid attention to the most recent Holo Taco launch, but it was Holo Taco with Sifia Nygaard. And all of the nail polish shades were very spoopy, and that's what's on my nails right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I was thinking about getting it, but I need to just, like, take a moment and, like, go through all of the shades and see which ones I like and which ones I don't, and see if it's worth buying the set or if I want to just buy a few of them.
Well, I have
really
two.
liked the colors that I saw coming out of that.
Yeah. I have two. You can, hi Tiggers. You can try them on next weekend. But one of them's, like,
Yes.
sold out. But I don't know that, like, I think the ones I have are the ones you would want.
Okay.
Yeah, you can try them out. It'll be fun. I got spoopy nails.
I do need to redo my nails, so I'll try them.
Doing that after this.
I'm excited. I have Monstera on my toes right now, and they're fine. I just need to, like, do a touch-up.
Oh my goodness. I have the pink light hollow glitter one, not toe beans, but like it's like pedal punch or pink something. It was like the third Holo Taco nail polish I ever got. I put it on over a month ago. It's still not chipped. My toenails haven't really grown out a ton, and I just don't have a lot of, like, motivation to change it, other than, like, the pink is no longer the vibe because it's fall now, and I need to fall vibes my toes.
Right.
So I'm, like, trying to, you know, psych myself up for toe painting today, but we'll see how I go. Okay.
That's why I went with Monstera, because it's very, like, fall vibes.
Oh, yeah.
Dark green.
Tell me about Thornton Hall. Is there more you desire to say? Spoopy
Anyway.
time?
Thornton Hall. As I've mentioned before in this very podcast, I have a positive bias towards the spooky Nancy Drew games. I like anything that has ghost in the title. And Thornton Hall is arguably the spookiest of all of them. I was jump scared, and it takes a lot to jump scare me with spooky stuff. I was jump scared multiple times playing that game. I like the setting a lot, like an old, worn down mansion. There's a lot of cemetery situation going on. Little, like, guest house that's, like, burnt and decrepit. Not a fun reason why, but
Oh, no, that was so sad.
it's a dark vibe game. Like, you play it with the lights turned off, in order to essentially see the screen. I think the story is interesting. That, like, there's a bunch of, like this girl goes missing. You're called in to find her. There's a bunch of hauntings going on. The fiance's really suspicious. The mom is a wreck, but also kind of suspicious. The uncle, who everybody thinks is the one who kidnapped her, or is at least the most suspicious, is, like, in my opinion, the least suspicious out of everybody. And then there's like the crazy aunt who lives in the basement of the house that nobody knows about.
She's a cousin.
The cousin who lives in the basement that nobody knows about. I just love that game a lot. I think it's, like I said, I like games that keep me on the edge of my seat, especially mystery games. There's a lot of, I like the mechanics of that game. I like the puzzles in that game. I like games that, even if it's fictional history, I like games that have a lot of lore, and I feel like that game has a lot of lore. So it definitely puts it at the top of my list of Nancy Drew games.
Yeah, no, I think that game is wildly well done. It like, it's not in my top 5, not because it's not a good game, but because I have my, like, serious top 2, and then I have my silly 3, right? But, like, I think that is, like, top tier, one of the best games they've ever made, not only, like, graphics, mechanic, puzzle-wise, but just, like, the story is compelling. It is interesting. You are, like, on the edge of your seat the whole time. Like, I think it is objectively one of the best games they've ever made.
Exactly. They don't let things be idle either. Like, even if you have a lull period where you're just like, there's a lot of conversation and not a lot of puzzles, they'll throw jump scares at you. Or like ghost hunting tasks at you to do. Which, like, we know how I feel about ghost hunters. but I agree. I think they really knocked that one out of the park when they made that game. I just love a good spooky mystery.
Absolutely.
And I love that that's not the mystery. Like, Nancy's not there to investigate the ghosts.
No.
She's there to investigate, like, seemingly a crime. The ghosts are just an added feature.
My not my all-time favorite, but my second favorite of all time Nancy Drew game is Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon. I think everything about it is perfect. I think the story is fun. I think the characters are great. I think the puzzles are, like, interesting and difficult, but not, like, undoable. You know what I mean? Like, they're hard and they'll challenge you, but they're doable without cheating. I think the whole concept is a really fun time. The idea of, like, the treasure being like, history that we're reclaiming is really right up my alley as a woman who owns a 110-year-old house, right? Like, it's just everything about it's so good. Like, even being an older game, the mechanics are, like, playable. And like, do the people look
Very
super
easily
people-y?
playable.
No. But, like, is everything else about the game really well done? 100%. Plus, who can pass up a spooky doll puzzle? I don't want a spooky doll anywhere near my home. But, like, a spooky doll puzzle in a computer game that I can just make go away and it doesn't physically live in my space, sign me up, team. Like, everything about it is just so fun. I love it. It's a great game. I think it should be everyone's first Nancy Drew game because it's, like, definitely got the older style. It's not impossible. It's really compelling. I think it's, like, a really great candidate for a first Nancy Drew game.
I agree. I think it's got a little bit of everything for everybody. Like, puzzles are really good. There's a good variety of puzzles. Like, it's not all the same puzzle, just in different fonts.
Correct.
There's like your typical puzzle where you just, like, put pieces together and like, it makes a picture, like, makes words, or creepy doll puzzle, or you have to learn, like, pay attention to chemical elements and, like, that kind of information, or, like, find a key somewhere. I think there's a good variety of characters. Like, you've got the Hardy Boys, you've got Charlene Purcell, who's like an annoying author. You've got the ghost hunter guy. You've got
Laurie Gerard,
Tino Balducci, and Laurie Gerard, who, like, those two are arguably two of the most annoying people in any Nancy Drew game.
100%.
But they like are in love, kind of, and they're perfect for each other. So Charlena Purcell isn't that annoying. She's just kind of like snotty.
I think she's like frustrating to have to deal with, but in terms of like people to talk to, she's not bad.
No, she can like hold a normal conversation.
Yeah.
And then of course we like love the Hardy Boys.
Of course.
We got Fatima. There's history in that game. Like they tie in real history to the fictional history. I agree with you. I think it's a good Nancy Drew game because it's not hard to navigate. Puzzles aren't impossible, and it's fun. It's a fun
I think it's like almost perfectly paced too. Like, yes, there are conversation moments, and there are puzzle moments, and there are like I just think it's a really good like pacing of the game too.
Right. They should analyze the pacing conversation algorithm that they had with that game and Thornton Hall and make all Nancy Drew games like that because they did not follow that process with Midnight in Salem at all. It was all conversation.
9 hours of horrible time. Okay, give me number 2.
I thought it was 11 hours.
Oh, it was 11.
My number 2 is Shadow at the Water's Edge. And I know that that's my number 2 because I wasn't sure. I had, to be honest, Thornton Hall and Blue Moon Canyon were the 2 on my list. But I had a feeling we would have some overlap with either one of those. So I was looking for some other ones. And I know that Shadow at the Water's Edge is one of my top favorite games because when I saw it on the list, I went, oh, that one. Shadow at the Water's Edge, I think, is a lot of fun. I really like.
Is it because of Marianne?
It's spooky. Marianne, we have a lot, yes, but Marianne was born in Shadow at the Water's Edge. We had a lot of fun, like inside joke moments that were born out of Shadow at the Water's Edge.
Marianne.
I think that one is pretty easy to navigate. Marianne. That I need you to know that's not Marianne's voice. That's the voice we came up with for the mom. Well, okay. Writing to Mary.
In all fairness, I just thought to make this clear, okay? Like, how else are you supposed to say the word Marianne?
Oh, there's no other way other than Marianne.
If they didn't want her voice to be that way, they shouldn't have named her friend Marianne.
There's the only way to say Marianne's voice, or Marianne's name, by the way, to all of our listeners, is to screech yodel it.
Yeah.
There's no other way. Screech yodel. So Marianne's voice was born out of that. The spooky puzzles, like for how old that game is, I think they did a good job with the spooky parts of that game. I thought there was a good, again, variety of puzzles. Some of them were cultural, which was kind of cool. Even though there are some problematic moments of that game. But all in all, I think the game, again, has good pacing. I think it's intriguing. I had me on the edge of my seat for the majority of the game.
There are legitimately 2 different endings.
And there are legitimately 2 different endings to that game.
Like your choices
The ending,
matter.
the boyfriend, really greasy guy. But you choose how the game ends, which I think is really cool. I like Thornton Hall is like that too. I think in every ending of that game, the house burns down. But your choices dictate who gets out of the house. Like some people die in the fire if you choose incorrectly. Which is wild.
I played Thornton Hall with you for the first time. It's the only time I've played it. And we got like the perfect ending where everybody gets out.
Yeah. But I like the Nancy Drew games that end that way, where you get to pick, like the Germany one, where you get to pick who you think the person is.
Yes. Yeah.
They're in the monster costume and you don't know who it is. It's standing in front of you. You have to pick. But yeah, no, I really like that game. I always have fun playing it. I never dread playing that game. There are puzzles in that game that I don't love. But the good things in that game outweigh the bad for me. Where there are a lot of games where that's the opposite. I dread the puzzle so much that I never want to play the game again.
White Wolf. Okay, my
Side-eyes White Wolf.
My favorite, which we're all already aware of, is Silent Spy. I love everything about it. Okay,
Yes.
I will say that while the ending puzzles are tough, I did eventually figure out how to do them without cheating. Like, I now can reliably and successfully complete those puzzles first try without cheating. I, like, had to cheat the first time I did them.
That's impressive.
And then I figured it out. This is my favorite thing.
Well, I never figured it out, but...
Yeah. This is my favorite thing about, like, Game Boomers, is if it tells me how I'm supposed to know how to do the puzzle, and then, like, I can reverse engineer a solution on my own, like, that I really enjoy versus, like, if the puzzle is just honestly too hard and the only way I'm ever going to get through it is to follow a Game Boomers thing. Like, slider puzzles don't make sense in my brain. Yeah. I can't make them work. Like, my brain does not do that. I have to follow every single time a step-by-step instruction on how to do a slider puzzle. I physically can't do it. That's not a skill my brain has. But, like, I can reverse engineer from a Game Boomer's description that final ending USB puzzle. Like, that one I've got down. It's fine. And the flag thing, you just make a little map.
Incredible.
Like, but I love it. I love the story. I love that the story takes something familiar and, like, gives it a perspective I never would have thought of. Like, never in my mind would I ever have thought, like, what if Kate Drew was a spy? Like, something that honestly surprises me is going to be my favorite every time. And so, like, this whole new perspective and this whole new worldview on, like, who Kate is and how Nancy came to be how Nancy is. Like, it's not just that Nancy was an inquisitive kid, but, like, this is a trait that was passed down to her from her mom. Like, just the way that this invited me to think differently about everything I've previously thought of this world of Nancy Drew has been, like, such a fun thing. And the story they tell and the way you interact with the story and the way that your choices matter is really interesting to me, right? Like, if you don't play along with any of Revenant's phone calls, you don't get any of Kate's voice. But if you play along with, you know, whichever ones you want, you can get more or less of a story based on your participation in the request of something that's objectively bad, you know? And, like, you get to kind of, like, wrestle with the morals of that. Like, what am I doing to find out more about my mom? Is that worth it? I just think the game is really fun. I love the idea that, like, Samantha Quick is back and, like, or Zoe, you know, like, this kind of running presence, this person who has been in the Nancy Drew games but hasn't been in the Nancy Drew games but is, like, kind of always there in the background. Like, I just think that that's a really fun presence to have. I love the way this game surprises me. I love the mechanics. I love the pacing. It took me a while, but I was able to figure out the puzzles on my own, which matters to me. I just think it's a really good game. It's like a game I want to play over and over and over and over again. I think I've played it like 7 or 8 times. Like, it's just a really great game.
Yeah. It's a great game. I always have a ton of fun playing that one. It's again, one that they did a really great job creating, and I'm with you. I like the idea that, like, Nancy's mom didn't just die in, like, a freak accident. She was assassinated, essentially, because of the work that she was doing. But also that, like, Nancy isn't just some, like, freak of nature kid who is not just inquisitive, but, like, takes it upon herself to, like, go out of her way and solve all these mysteries. She gets this from her mom. Like, this was just, like, how she is, because that's how her mom is. I think we both played that game for the first time
together.
And it was so much fun.
We had the conspiracy after. Like, we played this game for the first time. And then it was 3 a.m, and I stood up at your TV with a little pointer and, like, pointed out my first ever, like, really big Nancy Drew conspiracy
theory. I love that. Yeah, we had so much fun playing that game. That one's one of my favorites. An honorable mention of mine.
Give me the rest of your honorable mentions.
All right. So one that I almost put on my list, but I didn't, is Haunting of Castle Malloy. If we are seeing a pattern here.
I'm not surprised.
All Water's Edge. Castle Malloy. I also really love Sea of Darkness.
I love that one too.
I just think that game is really well done.
That was my first Nancy Drew game.
I like the setting. I know it was. I was kind of surprised that wasn't one of your favorites, and then I heard your favorites, and I was like, no, that tracks.
No, my favorites
I know which ones you love.
Have been cemented for a long time, but like the rest of my top 5 is pretty fluid.
I really like Message in a Haunted Mansion.
Yep.
That was my first Nancy Drew game that I ever played, and it's short, and it's like one of the old ones, so the game mechanics are annoying, but it's short and I think it's fun.
It's got a good doable. It's another one of those ones that like you don't have to cheat for.
Yes, that's the one that I go to if I want to play a Nancy Drew game, but I don't want to think too much. Like I'll go to a Message in a Haunted Mansion because it doesn't frustrate me, and it's easy to play. But I would say definitely my honorable mentions would be Haunting of Castle Malloy, the Sea of Darkness, and then I also really like Waverly Academy. I just think that game's fun. I like the school history, and I like the weird school cult. I think that's hilarious.
That one's a little too much talking. I hate the puzzles in that game.
I just like the lore.
Yeah.
Which one?
Waverly Academy is a little bit too much talking for me.
Yes, I agree with that. Because it's mostly like talking through drama with the students. I just like the lore of that game a lot. And I don't hate the puzzles because you're doing homework for a bunch of people and it's all a variety of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like you work your brain in different ways, which I like.
Yeah.
But
so my original top 5, my like first ever Nancy Drew top 5 was, my top 2 have always been the same, but then it was Blackmore Manor, Crystal Skull, Sea of Darkness. I love the silliness of Crystal Skull. I love the mangoes and the buzzards. Like that memory of us playing that game for the first time together is always going to be in my mind. I am like freakishly talented at Blackmore Manor. I don't know what it is about that game. I get it. It gets me. Like it's in there. It lives rent free in my brain. I can knock that one out in probably 2 hours. Like it's good. It's fun.
You're so freakishly good. I've never been able to figure out Blackmore Manor for years.
Naturally,
from the first time I ever played it,
clicks with me. I don't know. And then
I don't understand.
Sea of Darkness was my first. I think it's a great game. Other ones that kind of like float on and off of my top 5s, like I'm a huge fan of Deadly Device. I'm a huge fan of Alibi and Ashes. Like I think I've played Alibi and Ashes like 7 times. Like the game's fun for me.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think it's fun. It's not particularly easy. It's a lot of talking, which is odd for me. I don't really like talking games. It's a fun game for me. I don't know why. I just like it. Tomb of the Lost Queen sometimes will make it on the list. But it's only sometimes.
I thought you hated that game.
It's either it's my favorite game in the whole world or it's the worst game in the world to me. It just really truly depends on the day. Like during spooky season, Tomb of the Lost Queen, it's kind of up there.
Oh, interesting.
Couldn't tell you why.
I don't mind Tomb of the Lost Queen. I like that one.
Yeah. Danger on Deception Island.
The puzzles in it. Ooh, Whale World.
Whale World is pretty high on the list most days.
Whale World.
Message in a Haunted Mansion also floats in and off of my top 5. And then I'm going to say something that might lead to our first ever real friendship fight. And I'm sorry in advance. Sometimes Shattered Medallion's on the list.
I don't hate that game.
You're telling me.
I think it's silly.
you're telling me that you don't rage when you have to play Barnacle Bashers again to earn points?
Oh, I just didn't play it.
Yeah.
I just feel like I avoided that like the plague. I don't hate that game. It's definitely not like my go-to if I am like feeling in a Nancy Drew mood and I want to go
Nope.
play it. But it's funny. I think that game is silly. And I had fun playing it the first time.
Yeah, I mean, you get your Anunnaki lore from that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love Anunnaki lore. and you get to talk to Jamila. And talking to Jamila is always a great time.
We love a Jamila moment. I have
We
like
love
a really, just to defend myself against, you know, when I listen to this later and I'm like, Callie, that's a lot of a list. I just want to gently remind myself that, like, while I like what I like, so like my top two are always the same, but that like bottom three is really fluid because I get like really fixated on things. So like, you know, sometimes it's like I'm super, super, super into like those word puzzles and the rest of the vibe of Tomb of the Lost Queen. But if I'm not like super fixated on that, I'm out. Deadly Device, I have such a fun time with, except for when I like lose patience for those like circuit puzzles. Then I'm out, and I'm out for a while. You know what I mean? But like, I kind of in my mind added anything that is easy for me to like be fixated on, even if it means that like for the rest of the time when I'm playing Nancy Drew, I'm like really not interested in those games, because like there was when I first played Tomb of the Lost Queen, I played it 6 times before I had to return it to the library.
Really?
6 times in 2 weeks.
That's impressive.
In fairness, the last time I played it was with you and Sam, and that's why I was a little bit over it at the time. But like,
yeah,
I really fixated on it, and then it was off the list because I like had fixated on it and moved on. You know, like. So, that's it for me.
Yeah. That's
right.
it on my list. There are a lot of good ones that you mentioned that I like.
Yeah.
Just like saying my favorites out loud, you can definitely see the pattern of like what my game preference is.
Yeah. If it's not spooky,
like
Riley's not here.
90% of them said the word not interested. That's not true, but
not true.
But it was spooky season. I'm in my prime.
I was going to say, you're visiting during spooky season, so I feel like we've got to play a spooky game.
I know. I'm all on board. I'm all on board for all the spooky things.
Really, the trick is going to be, like, can we get Sam on board?
Yes. Well, we've got a list of activities that we might be doing during our visit. Because were we going to go to the drive-in?
I have to look at the movies. They haven't been posted yet. They don't get posted till Thursday.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's kind of the thing. Like, the drive-in is an activity that's wildly up in the air. We also have to remember that, like, it's 30 minutes away, and the first movie starts at 8 p.m., and the second movie's done at, like, 2 a.m. So, like, if we're going to go to the drive-in, we really have to commit to being awake.
Yes.
Like,
wow.
I just don't know that I can commit to that amount of wakefulness. Likewise, I have the Disney movie popsicle stick jar. Like, it's here. It's in my home.
I was going to say, that's a great backup plan.
That, and, like, my husband is slowly watching through, like, all the Disney movies in order.
Every Disney movie.
And he's currently at Dumbo. There's only one way to get me to watch Dumbo, and it does not need to be said out loud on the internet.
Exactly. Maybe we do that. I'd be on board.
Yeah, likewise,
Snuggle with...
The movie after Dumbo is also a movie I probably never want to watch again, so we could do both. Or we could settle in for a good old spoopy Nancelones.
Very true. Very true.
We've got the options.
We got lots of good options.
Yeah. I tried to come up with a fun...
Muchos options.
I tried to come up with a fun spooky time craft for us because we painted pumpkins a couple of years ago and just feel like
so fun.
we needed to do something else that was silly and spoopy, but I didn't come up with anything, so.
That's okay.
I don't know that anything will be as funny as painting the pumpkins.
I made brown.
On that note, if you're still here and you're not us, I don't know why. Go away, don't come back. This has been Callie and Riley. See you flippin' never. Bye.
Bye! I made brown. You were the one who brought up the pumpkin painting. I just needed our episode to go out ending on me screaming, I made